Hey, what's up guys? It's Turbo here and welcome back to a brand new video. And today I'm going to teach you everything you need to know to master Inferno in CS2 as fast as possible. Let's go. Welcome to T-spawn. This is T-stairs. This is mid. Down here is Mexico. This is second mid. Apps bedroom. I mean, this whole part is pretty much apps. T-apps back here. In Boiler, there's actually someone who's working on a screenplay, which is kind of sick. To simplify it, this is short and this is long. This is library and back here is kitchen. Welcome to T-spawn. This is usually called Speedway. This is known as construction. You can also call it church. This area is pretty much just called coffin, fountain, new box, pillar, emo, first oranges, second oranges, sandbags, car, half wall. And this callout is super famous. It's actually called banana. This is balcony, under balcony. This area is pit. This is graveyard. This right here is moto. This is default. This is dark. If someone's up here, you can just say boost, under boost, and double boxes. This right here is cubby. This area is called arches. If I forgot any, let me know in the comments. Walk right here, aim for the left part of this building and throw. This smokes off CT as well as the boost. Walk right here in this corner, aim above the ladder right here on this light. This is a great way to smoke off coffins. You'll easily be able to see them if they try to jump over. All right, I got a 1-2 punch for you. Have your teammate drop you a molly. Throw the first molly here. Throw the second molly right here. This will pretty much molly off this entire back area and force them out of position. Depending on how this spreads, they could actually stay back here, so just be careful. If you want to flash, don't do a regular flash because it'll get blocked by the roof. Instead, you want to try to jump throw it so it goes a little bit higher. Then that way they have a higher chance of actually getting flashed. But if you want a better pop flash, just walk right here in this corner, aim for the ladder and just throw. Ow. So get stuck right here and then you want to aim. There's a little white spot on the wall that kind of stands out. If you actually scope in, there's a couple of them, but you want to aim for basically this one right here. And it can be a little hard to line up, so make sure to practice this in your own time. Simply jump throw. It'll basically block off T stairs so you can get banana control early, you can get mid control early. Basically, if you're on CT, that is one of the easiest ways to gain control of the map early on. Walk here, aim here, throw. That's a really good pop flash for sight. I got a molly for you. So there's this big rail right here, but you want to move over 2. So 1, 2, walk in front of this. And then you basically want to you want to throw as center as you can. You want to aim for kind of this part of the wall. I mean, it does kind of stand out like a sore thumb, but if you get it just right, it's a really good way to molly off pit. Now we're going to be going into jump spots. So first of all, pro tip, make sure if you want to crouch jump, do not jump and then crouch midair. You want to crouch and then jump, but the timing has to be just right, because if you do it wrong, it's impossible to make this jump. But if you do it right, you get enough height to actually make it. Also, you can jump up here into apps, but it's a little bit easier if you strafe jump. This jump is super useful. So you used to be able to just make this jump right here, but they patched it. So you want to strafe jump onto here and then strafe jump onto this thing. And then you can play one of the most overpowered off angles on Inferno. You can also jump on top of these pallets and then jump on top of the box to catch people off guard. This is kind of useless, but you can strafe jump on top of this thing. There's also a little hidden room in here with a TV. Instead of wide peeking coffins, you can actually jump on top of it like so. And they actually nerfed this angles because you can't 2-man boost up here anymore. This is a cool little skill jump you can do, but an easier way to do it is right here. So on the T side, you have a couple different options. You can go here or you can go this way. And generally, if you're running a default, you want at least one person to go alt mid, 1 to 2 people go banana, and then everyone else goes mid. But it's never a good idea to bunch up with all your teammates and rush B at the beginning of the round, because it's super common for the enemies to throw Molotovs and grenades. So instead, you want to kind of wait it out. Oh, this is a flash you absolutely need to know though. Basically, just throw a flash kind of in this direction. Oh, wait, that's a smoke. Oh, wait, what? I did not mean to find that. Okay. All right, dude. Okay, you actually can't do this flash anymore. That makes it way harder to take banana. Wow. If you want to take banana, at the beginning of the round, you want to throw a Molotov car. So that's the general lineup for it. And then you can slowly work your way up. Have a teammate flash you from back here, or you can do a little pop flash like this and then peek. You want to make sure you clear this. You want to make sure CT is smoked and work your way up. And then you have to peek coffins and peek dark fountain. You want to also clear oranges too. Work your way up to new box. And then if this is smoked, you can cross over. This is the default plant spot right here. If you're in a pinch and there's CT, you can plant right here. And if you're stuck in first oranges, you can plant right here. On A site, generally, this is one of the best places to plant. You can also plant right here if you're going to be playing short. If you plant right here, it's actually really hard to defend, so try to avoid it unless you have to. Taking ice sight is a little bit more complicated because there's so many different angles. So basically, if you want to wrap around long, you want to smoke the right side. and then you can slowly work your way up. Just make sure to check all the angles, especially cubby. You can also just molly it as well. Check arches, check library. You have a few different options. You can either smoke off moto and push through speedway. Just obviously make sure that, you know, watch out, make sure there's no one in CT. Or you can also wrap through and take the site. If you're going to be going short or truck, throw a smoke to the left. And then you also want to make sure that you have apps control as well if you're going this way. So clear this angle. You want to clear balcony. You want to clear pit. A Molotov is also super useful for dealing with pit. Luckily, graveyard's not as overpowered. And then you want player number 1 to kind of push up like this. Check ninja. Check here, check here, check here. Make sure that there's no one on the site. But you also want to make sure you have someone like push in through pit, take the guy out, and just gain pit control. Then basically plant right here, and in the post plant, you know, this is a really good angle, but you want to make sure that you have someone pit to watch anyone pushing mid. You can use this angle to hold apps, and generally there's just a million ways to play it, but this is one of the better ways. This is what people consider to be a default. This is how to run a default on CT side. So you want 2 people to go B. One person can kind of push up and be a little bit more aggressive. So if you just run to this spot and nade right away, if they're pushed up, there's not much you can do. So I find it to be really useful to bank a flash off this wall. Ow. For that exact reason. And then get into this position and you can throw a super deep nade, which will pretty much nade anyone who's around here, who's pushing up. But if you want to be a little bit safer, you can kind of throw nades like so. Shallow Molotov. Deep Molotov. It'll either force them into a gunfight where you have the advantage, or it'll force them all the way back, where, you guessed it, you can throw more utility. So don't be afraid to get creative with your smokes, Molotovs, grenades, all that kind of stuff. You can play coffins. Just keep in mind though that this is easily wall bangable. You can play new box if you're super confident. Yeah, fountain's not as powerful as it used to be, but you can play behind it. You can also play behind pillar, but it seems to be a little bit smaller. Or you can play emo and just wait. Also, it can be a really good idea to boost your teammate up here, and then they can just kind of play anti-flash, look into the wall, and once the enemies start pushing up, just take him down, easy peasy. And then you want 3 people to go A. So you generally want 1 person to play arch, especially later in the round. You can also have an additional player playing cubby, so you can have the arch guy backing him up. And then the last person can either go into apps, but just keep in mind that this is wall bangable. So in most scenarios, it's usually better to just play safe. You can play under balcony. Obviously, you can play pit. You can't really play graveyard anymore. It's not as safe. Yeah, or you can just play on site. If you want to spam apps, this is a really good way to do it. Shoot the window, grab your molly, aim right here, and then running throw. It'll molly off apps, preventing them from crossing over. And then you can jump on top of these flower pots right here and basically just spam right where the X is. The bullets kind of end up in the middle of the room. So if you're like right here, you're a lot safer. Or if you're more to the left, you're more safe as well. So if you get a really good spawn, you can hold this angle right here with an op. You can also hold this angle as well. It's not as overpowered as it was in CSGO, but it still kind of works. You have a little sliver gap. If they wide peek it, there's not much you can do. You can just get the info and run back. But shallow peek it, it's a free kill. If you're pushed all the way back here, you can hold this angle. If you get smoked, you can either play in front of it, get the frag, and then run back, or you can just run back and reposition to coffins, because coffins is another pretty good angle, because you can either play from here or you can play up top. New box, you can either play on the left side or you can play on the right side. They can work their way up here and catch you off guard. So if you're holding this, you got to play Stewie 2K and just absolutely flick him. If you do end up smoking off ramp at the beginning of the round, you can actually get a little bit more aggressive pushing mid, and you can watch second mid. I wouldn't recommend going super far though, because they could push the smoke, and then what are you going to do? And if you get a really good timing, you can hold this angle right here. If you're an opera in library, you can hold this angle and watch them as they cross. And then you can also check arch side or long. Of course, you can play around these boxes. You can hold apps, you can hold short. And then if you have to turn around, you can turn around. Yeah, in CSGO, you could actually hold boiler from here, but now you have to push up a little bit farther to actually get the angle. That's super interesting. Obviously, this is just the Counter-Strike 2 beta, so of course, there's going to be some meta changes, especially once pros start competing in tournaments. The meta is going to change so much. So these are just some general tips and tricks that will hopefully help you play better. Make sure to share the video with your friends if you're going to be queuing with them so they can be on the same page. Good luck winning more matches of Inferno. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe. This video took a long time to make, and I'll see you guys in the next one. It's Turbo, and I'm out. Peace.